occasion of the 71st National Town and Country Planners Congress being held here in Orissa. On this occasion, various dignitaries from the government have sent their messages, and I have this privilege to read these messages which have been received for the great success of this conference. We have received the message from the Honorable Governor, Professor Ganeshi Lal, who is happy to note that the conference is being held at Bhubaneswar, and he has sent his best wishes for the success of the conference. Also, Honorable Shri Bhupender Yadav, Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Labour and Employment, Government of India, has also sent his best wishes for the conference. Shri Naveen Patnaik ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, has expressed that I am glad to know that the Institute of Town Planners India is organizing the 71st National Conference, National Town and Country Planners Conference on the theme of challenges for urban and regional planning towards sustainable development during 24 to 26 February 23 at Bhubaneswar. It is a matter of pride that Bhubaneswar, a proactive city, was selected as Smart City out of Pan-India competition and stood first in the ranking. It is encouraging to note that the conference would be sharing the experiences of implementation of Smart Cities of Odisha with the delegates from various states. He extended his warm greetings to all for the great success of this conference. We also have received message from Shri Vinay Kumar Saxena, Honorable Lieutenant Governor of the NCT of Delhi, and also from Honorable Shri Arvind Kejriwal, Chief Minister of Delhi, who wished the great success to the conference being held here. Honorable Shri Ashok Chandra Pandya has also sent the message and wished success to the conference being held here. Honorable Minister for Housing and Urban Development, who was supposed to be present here, but because of her preoccupation in the assembly, she could not be here, and she has also sent her best wishes for the success of this conference. Honorable Madam Sulochana Das, who is here present with us as a chief guest, she has also sent the message for the success of this conference being held here in Bhubaneswar. Shri Manoj Joshi, Secretary, Housing and Urban Development, Government of India, has also sent his best wishes for the conference. In addition, respected Shri Suresh Chandra Mahapatra, Chief Secretary of Odisha, was also glad to know that the Institute of Town Planners India is organizing the 71st National Town and Country Planners Conference on the theme of challenges for urban and regional planning towards sustainable development from 24 to 26 February at Bhubaneswar. This conference would also deliberate on the theme of experience of Smart City Mission in Odisha. It is pertinent to mention that Bhubaneswar was selected as one of the #1 city in the Pan-India ranking of the cities. He hoped that it would be worthwhile to share and discuss the experience of Smart City Mission, including Bhubaneswar, with the delegates and the participants of the conference. He extended his warm wishes to all the members and wished the conference a great success. In addition to the above messages, we received messages from Sri Vijay Amruta Pulange, IAS, Commissioner, Bhubaneswar Municipal Corporation, Shri Hemant Sharma, IAS, Principal Secretary, Department of Industries, Odisha, Shri Pradeep Jaina, IAS, Development Commissioner cum Additional Chief Secretary, Odisha, and Shri G.M. Mathi Vethanan, Principal Secretary, Housing and Urban Development, Government of Odisha, and also Shri Talikesh N. Singhdev, Chairman, Odisha State Housing Board. They have also wished the grand success to the conference. These are the messages which we have received, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Shri S.B. Khodankar, for reading out the messages beautifully. Now we do have the presence of Shri Sushant Kumar Mishra, the Director of Town Planning, amongst us. I would invite you, sir, to join us on the dais. Let's greet him. Welcome. And I would invite our girls with a plant and Uttariya to greet Shri Mishra on the stage. Dr. Mishram is presenting the Uttariya and the plant to Shri Sushant Kumar Mishra, the Director Town Planning. A warm welcome to the inaugural ceremony of the 71st National Conference, sir. Thank you, girls. Now it's time to hear from Shri Sushant Mishra only, the Director of Town Planning. So may I invite you to the podium, please.
A very good morning to all of you. Respected Mayor Bhubaneswar ma'am and all the distinguished guests on dais and all the distinguished town and country planning officials and professionals, practitioners present here. It's a privilege and honor for me to be here with you. I'm really, so I think I'm just overjoyed and overwhelmed by the number that I see here. For quite some time, in fact, we have been struggling to see too many town planners here in Odisha. But for whatever reason, if all these town planners have assembled here, I think it's a huge satisfaction for all of us to know that in fact we have town planners, and town planning as a discipline or as maybe an important part of governance will be in safe hands, and people will always be there to help us. So that's a huge satisfaction I derive as maybe the Director of Town Planning here in Odisha. I am very actually delighted to tell you that during the last couple of years, we have taken a lot of steps here in Odisha to see that town planning as a branch, as an important part of government.
Alert from your disk is almost full.
Momentum. We are working in multiple areas, including the human resources and, of course, the policies that we have tried to legislate and notify during the last few years. I think they have all been in line with the kind of development that is happening all over the country, or maybe the best practices that is adopted in other parts of the world also. So for that matter, I would take this opportunity to thank all the planning officials in Odisha. So mostly the senior officials like Mr. Dingraj Patnaik and of course Mr. Gauri Shankar Bhuyan and other senior officers like Mr. Subhendra Mishra, Rammohan Mishra and Bandita Mahapatra. These are all senior officers. The scrutiny is done automatically and many other things are performed automatically, which I think is not happening in many of the states of India at least. So at a scale that we have planned, I think makes it very important for me to inform you. And I'm sure in days to come, the program that we have initiated will go a long way in helping the people resolving the problems they had with these organizations. The institutional reforms and various other areas where we are working obviously is going to yield results in the few years. And finally, I'd like to thank the Institution of Town Planning India, especially all the dignitaries sitting here, including our own Lingraj ji, for inviting me to talk to you, interact with you. I know I am an intruder here right now, get crushed, as not supposed to be here, but because of some reasons I was invited. But certainly that doesn't, in fact, so brings down the kind of enthusiasm and respect and the kind of bonhomie that I enjoy with all of you. I wish all of you a great conference for the next 2 days and welcome to Odisha. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shri Mishra, for your words. Of course, we have gathered over here to discuss all our issues and concerns. We hope we can cover at least 90 to 95% in the 3 day of conference sessions that we are going to have. Thank you. And now we are very, very happy to have amongst us on the dais the President ITPI, Professor Dr. D.S. Meshram, who is in the front line in organizing this 71st National Conference, and he's taking the lead really nicely, really well. Of course, he has got the support of the organizing committee as well, but he's a great leader. Now, may I invite Professor Dr. D.S. Meshram to the podium and let us hear his address. Thank you, sir. Please come.
Thank you. Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Naveen Patnaik ji, he will be joining us on virtual mode very shortly and address to all of us today. Honorable Chief Guest of the 2 day session, Shrimati Sulochana Das, Mayor, Bhubaneswar Municipal Corporation, my colleague Dr. L.P. Patnaik, Vice President ITPI, Shri S.B. Khodankar, former Secretary General ITPI, Shri P.K. Mohanty, P.K. Patnaik ji, Executive Member of the Odisha Regional Chapter ITPI, and of course the Director Town Planning Government of Odisha, who has very recently joined to us. Sir, we are really thankful to you for joining us, and we wanted you to be in the technical sessions, but you have made it in the inaugural session, so we are really grateful to you, sir. Thank you very much. Just for your information, today we have got the representative from 15 states of the India. That is from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Haryana, Gujarat, West Bengal, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Goa, of course Odisha and Chhattisgarh also. Really, so that is the representation we have got, and they are of the rank of the Director of the Town Planning, Chief Planners of the state governments, Chief Planner of the central organization, that is Town and Country Planning Organization, Government of India. So all of them has given the helping hand, and they have made it possible and convenient to be present today with us. It is really, we are grateful to all of you that you have joined us. Dignitaries, those who are there in the audience, we are grateful to you for coming and giving us your moral support and your presence also. I understand that some of you could not reach in the time due to some inconvenience caused to you, maybe due to the buses. So I tender my apologies for that. Specifically to Madam Kajri Madam, my apologies for you. Thank you very much for some inconvenience caused to you. I really apologize for that. Well, at the outset, it is very pertinent to say a few words about the Institute of Town Planners India. This institute was constituted, sir, by the and madam, by the 13 qualified town planners of India in the year 1951. And all the 13 town planners of 1951, they studied abroad because there was no school of the planning in your country. And that is why the first priority of the 13 founder members of the Institute of Town Planners India was to really see that the School of Planning is established in India. The Town and Country Planning Organization at the central is established. And third priority was to see that the well-established Town and Country Planning departments are also set up. And that was their first priority. Accordingly, and they started pursuing to the authorities of the central government at that time, and with their constant persuasion, the first school of planning was established in the year 1955, that is at Delhi. And when the Department of Architecture from the Government Polytechnic was merged in the School of Planning at Delhi, the present School of Planning and Architecture came into the existence in the year 1959. followed by the IIT Kharagpur and all other institutions. At that time, there were 13 town planners, but with the constant persuasion, today we have got more than 8,000 qualified town and country planners in India. We have got 77 schools of the planning as far as India is concerned due to the efforts of the Institute of Town Planners India, and they are imparting the town and country planning education in India. Every year, more than 1,200 town planners, those who are qualified, are coming out of this particular school. As far as the ITPI vision is concerned, I will read for you: to promote dynamic, inclusive and integrated town and country planning practice, education, research and institutional mechanism for vibrant, sustainable and resilient spatio-economic development of our towns and cities. That is what the vision of the Institute of Town Planners India is. The Institute of Town Planners India also recognizes the schools of planning, reason being because their students can become the associate or the fellow members of the Institute of India, and that is why we recognize the schools so that they are really appropriate as far as the quality of the planning education is concerned. So far, IITs, NITs, schools, universities, colleges, those who are imparting the town and country planning education are recognized by us. As far as the ITPI is concerned, we are also running the associateship examination of the Institute of Town Planners India since 1951, which has been recognized by the Board of Assessment of the Government of India in the year 1963 at par with the MTech in town planning. And there are so many qualified persons, those who have done the associateship examination of the ITPI. They are at the level of the director, they are at the level of the chief town planner, and that is what the status of the associateship examination which is being conducted by the institution since 1951. We are also prepared for the benefits of the professional, the fees and charges to be taken for the planning practices that has been published by the institution, and it is already available on the website of the ITPI. Recently, the Niti Aayog has constituted a committee, a ministerial committee of the high level, known as for the purpose of the reforms in urban planning capacity in India. And their three recommendations are very important. I would like to share with you. The first recommendation is that to set up the National Council of the Town and Country Planners India, so that the planning practice in the India can be done in a very established manner and a professional manner. And the institute is pursuing this particular aspect with the Government of India, specifically Ministry of Education and Ministry of Urban Development also. They have also recommended, as far as the Niti Aayog is concerned, to change or revise the recruitment rules, because our recruitment rules, sir and madam, they were formulated about 50 years back. At that time, there were no number of the qualified town planners, and that is why the architects, engineers, and some of the professionals from outside of the profession of the town planning, they were employed as a town planner. But sir, today we have got the requirement number of the qualified town and country planners, and that is why our humble submission to all the authorities to kindly see that the post of the town and country planners are given to the persons, those who are really having the town and country planning qualification, and not to the professionals who don't have the town and country planning education. As far as the technical discussions of this particular conference is concerned, my humble submission is that the first sub-theme which we are going to discuss is the challenges of urban and regional planning towards sustainable development. As far as the urbanization is concerned, sir, generally it is seen as a curse. But my humble submission to my colleagues, not to see urbanization as a curse, but it is to be seen as opportunities. It is going to provide you with the potentials for the development, potentials for the prosperity, but at the same time, it also brings some problems as far as the protection of the environment is concerned. And in this direction, the town and country planner, those who are qualified town and country planners, they have been specifically trained for this purpose to have a balance between the development and the destruction. And that is what the theme of this particular conference is. Let us not only focus our concentration on the development and the planning and forget about the environment, definitely not. But at the same time, only focus on the environment protection and stop or give the foot stop of the development, that should also not be the approach. The approach should be to have the balanced development of our towns and cities, and that is what the endeavor of the Institute of Town Planners India is. As far as small and medium towns is the second sub-theme. Sir, as far as the small and medium town schemes are concerned, it was in the 5th 5-year plan and the 6th 5-year plan and followed in the 7th 5-year plan also, which is known as the integrated development of small and medium towns. That is properly at that time was known as the IDSMT. At that time, I was the chief planner to the government of India, and I only implemented this particular scheme. Some of my colleagues used to say that this particular scheme could not make the foundational changes as far as the town and country planning is concerned. My humble submission here to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, to underline that at that time we used to give 40 lakhs of the rupees for per town, 40 lakhs only. And if you are expecting that these 40 lakhs of the rupees are going to make the foundational changes, it is really not possible. Unless and until sufficient funds are given for the development of the small and medium towns, kindly don't expect that 40 lakhs will make the foundation changes. And it is not only the construction of the few of the shops and few of the houses that will bring the total development of the towns and cities, definitely not. And that is why the chairman of the technical session of the Institute of Town Planner, Professor Dr. Kulshrestha, has specifically said that the small and medium towns can act as the drivers of the growth and development of the towns and cities, and that is why this particular sub-theme has been included as far as this particular conference is concerned. Then the third sub-theme is on the innovation and innovative approaches in the town and country planning education in the country. Here, let me share with you that the National Education Policy 2020 has already been published by the government of India, and they are in the advanced stage to really apply this particular policy for all the education. It is not only for the town and country planning education, for all the education. In addition to that, I have already said reforms in town and country planning has already been published by the Niti Aayog in the year 2021. They have given the specific recommendations as far as the town and country planning education is concerned. So we have to really achieve the balance between the National Education Policy 2020 and the recommendations of the Niti Aayog. Here, I would like to share with you, as far as the town and country planning education is concerned, this particular discipline could not get the deserved of importance as far as our country is concerned. If you don't agree with me, then I would like to share a very small example. As far as the principles of the town and country planning is concerned, sir, it was really practiced in India 2500 BC during the Indus Valley civilization. At that time, that is Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, it were the prominent towns of the India, now at present in Pakistan, where this town and country planning practice about 2500 years back, that is the BC, were practiced. But subsequently, this particular tradition, because the importance was not given, lost somewhere in the India. I will again would like to quote you and share with you a very small example. In the year 1951, when the Institute of Town Planners India came into the existence, there was not even a single school of the planning before independence and not even a single school of the planning after independence also. That shows how much importance our country as far as the town and country planning discipline is concerned. But with the great efforts of my four founders of the institution, now there are 77 schools. So this particular importance is required to be given to the town and country planning profession if we wanted to see that our towns and cities and the rural areas and settlements develop in the proper and orderly manner. Then this particular discipline is required to be brought into the importance. That is what our submission is. As far as the Niti Aayog is concerned, sir, I would like to share with all the delegates and the participants present over here what is the position of this particular town planning profession in India is concerned. For 1 lakh population in United Kingdom, there are 38 town and country planners qualified. 38 qualified town and country planners for 1 lakh population in the United Kingdom. That is a developed country, everybody will say, and I also do agree. But the country which is underdeveloped that is Nigeria. They have got 1.8 town planners for 1 lakh population. And what is the scenario of the India? It is 0.2, only 0.2 planners are available for 1 lakh population. And we call ourselves as a developing nation. And if you compare ourselves with the underdeveloped nation, they are better off in the education, planning education is concerned, in the planning profession is concerned, and that is why the required importance is required to be given to this particular profession. As far as when, because there is a proposal of the Niti Aayog to set up the more schools of the planning, so that the required number of the planning qualified professionals come into the profession here.
और कौन से सबमिशन कौन सी सबमिट किए कौन से टॉपिक के